Hello, welcome to Gentle Yoga. I'm Leo Bray here at Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center in Palm Springs. Please be sure to visit us online at urbanyoga.org or at Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook to check out our schedule of daily classes on Zoom, see when we're available to practice with in person outdoors locally, and to visit the tip jar where you can make contributions to support our offerings on Zoom and YouTube. So for today's gentle class, we'll start in child's pose. I do want you, if you have blocks, have them handy and a strap as well. That's not for child's pose, that's for later, but good to bring it up at the beginning before you get settled in. Folks doing the video later can hit pause and go get their stuff. Child's pose, in case you're brand new, is bringing big toes together, opening the knees wider. If your knees bother you, you might keep them closer together. You sit back towards your heels, walk your hands forward, and you want to let your head all the way down to the ground to let your neck disengage. Depending on what's going on in your body, maybe your head doesn't quite make it to the ground. You could stack your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. You could put a pillow or a yoga block under your head. You want your head supported by something so your neck can let go and relax. And if you're feeling like a more active child's pose, maybe you keep reaching your hands forward, engaging here in the upper body, or maybe you just let everything go. You could be even more disengaged and passive by reaching your hands back towards your feet like that. We always have options and choices. Some people fancy putting a prop between their heels and their seat or between their chest and the floor, like a big bolster or something. Get comfortable in whatever your child's pose looks like. Observe your breathing, giving it time to slow down and get deeper. Taking in the movements of your breath and the way that those movements feel. Child's pose is very grounding. It's also very focusing. I like to start practice most of the time by turning inward, focusing inward. Generally, that's the way I like to practice is interoceptive, inwardly focused. Child's pose is great for that because there's really nothing else to look at. Even if you had your eyes open, you're just staring at a spot on the ground. You might have your eyes open, you might close them. Feeling into what's going on in your body, feeling that support of the ground wherever you're touching it. The way your body accepts that support, the way the grounding contact helps your body to relax, helps things start opening up as your breaths are getting deeper and slower. Expansion in the upper body when you're breathing in. Settling down as you're breathing out. Maybe you even feel your hips shift back a bit. Maybe you feel your tail go a little lower on some of the exhales. And maybe you're sitting right on your heels, or maybe you're up higher. It doesn't matter. Allow space for how your body's feeling. Allow your child's pose to be what your body needs. Extend your awareness outward from your breath and take in whatever is going on in your body, whatever sensations are present. Scan your body, check out what's going on, all the various parts of your wonderful body. And make particular note of anything that maybe doesn't seem so wonderful. Maybe there's some stiffness or soreness somewhere.
Maybe you think of sending your breath there. Take mental notes of any such issues so that you may bear them in mind during practice, exercising your freedom to skip or modify anything I'll be doing to find the practice that's best for you. Your body is not my body. During practice, your mind will wander. From time to time, you'll lose this focus on the breath, focusing on what's going on in your body. Whenever that happens, just gently redirect, turn inward, refocus. Don't beat yourself up. Doesn't matter how many times we need to redirect, we always can. Maybe in addition to these shared intentions of listening in, taking care of ourselves, you have an intention you'd like to set for yourself, for your practice today. If so, take the time to let that finish coming together and sink in. And let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth with a sigh. If you've got your hands reaching back by your feet, bring them forward again. And nice and slowly inhale, let's drift forward and up. Take your time and wriggle your way to the table or box pose. Open your hands way up. Feel for grounding through your whole palm. Shoulders can be above your wrist or a bit behind, if that's better for your wrist. Hips above your knees. Inhale, bring your heart forward. Let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale, bring your heart up. Let your head and tailbone come down. And just follow your own breath a few more times. We focus a lot on grounding today, stabilizing ourselves. And as we stabilize the physical body, focus on the physical grounding. It helps with the other kinds of grounding, the emotional or mental grounding. So noticing contact of hands and knees, maybe some movement in the feet as you float back and forth. The ground is always there. In different postures, in different parts of our body, are grounded. There's always something. Well, always in in these practices. There is this aerial yoga stuff, but I don't teach that. I haven't practiced it yet. We will not be floating off the ground today. We will stay grounded throughout. After your next exhale, come back to the table with your spine neutral. Reach back and press into the ball of your right foot. Take a couple breaths. Feel this new grounding. Feel that leg lengthen. Feel that hip open. With an inhale, reach your left arm to the side. So the grounding in right hand and left knee increases. If you like, pick your right foot up, reach straight back, even more grounding now in the remaining points of contact. Or going to work, if you want, you could bend your leg, you could reach back and maybe take a bind, maybe grab your foot, your ankle, your pant leg, lift against your hand, lift your knee a little, lift your chin a little. Release and lower down. Take 3 cow-cat breaths, maybe 4. And we'll do that on the other side. When you're ready, reach back and press into the ball of your left foot. Take a couple breaths. With an inhale, reach your right arm to the side. If you want to go further, on an inhale, pick your left foot up, reach straight back. If you like, bend your knee, reach back, see about the bind. An additional stretching in your quadriceps and in your shoulder, opening the midline of your body. Exhale, relax, down. Put your hands at your knee, take a few cow-cat breaths. Sit back, come to a kneeling, or if you prefer, seated position. And we'll explore another way to ground. This is more about the hands and maybe the voice or maybe just the mind. Using mudra, mudra is a hand position, and mantra, mantra is a phrase that we repeat. So we use a mudra today called the Bhu mudra, B-H-U. It's for grounding. So you have peace fingers like this, and you put your fingertips on the ground. And the traditional mantra that goes with it, that you might shorten or rephrase to suit yourself, is my energetic roots run deep into the living earth. You might repeat it to yourself out loud. You might repeat it in your head. You might simplify it as you like. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. You keep doing that, or you could open your eyes and relax your hands. The beautiful thing about a practice like that, which can take just a few seconds, you can do this any time of the day. Maybe you don't always have an hour to spend on yoga when you need it. But anytime that you feel the need for some grounding, anytime you feel battered around by what's going on in your life, just feeling like a little spinny, a little out of control, you can pause, you can slow down your breathing. Maybe you make the mudra, maybe the mantra is just in your head, maybe nobody else even knows that you're doing it. You take a moment for yourself and ground. I take a moment for myself and wet my whistle. And come up onto hands and knees again. And we're going to work with some twisting from here. I'm going to go to the left, start at the waist, work up the spine into an arm extension.
So inhaling, twist through your lower back, middle back, upper back, and then reach your left arm out and up, look up towards your hand. Exhale, bring your hand down and reach across your body behind the other arm. And let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, open up and reach up and look up. Exhale, reach across. So really feeling the grounding in that right hand as we do these big movements. And then slowly let the left shoulder come down. Let the left side of your head come down. So there's our twist, and maybe that's plenty to do. We have options if you want to explore further. Arm extensions, leg extensions. Maybe you do one, maybe you do both, maybe you skip both. You might reach your right foot back, press into the ball of your foot. If you feel a little more adventurous, you might reach your foot up in the air. This can make you tip to the left and land on your back. Or you might bring this foot over by your left hand. You might skip all that and leave both knees planted. You might reach your right arm up like this and let your arm rotate in the shoulder socket like an owl, turning your head back and forth. Or you might bend your elbow and reach the back of your hand towards your left hip. So now we're grounding in a funny kind of shape. Shoulder, head, knee, foot, maybe the other knee, maybe the other hand, depending on what you're doing. And we'll slowly rewind. So if you've moved your right hand first, plant it again. Increase grounding. This will really stabilize you. To undo the leg extension, if you're in the leg extension, sweep the leg back. If it's to the side, bring the knee down. Really press into the right hand. Big inhale, open up, reach up, look up again. Exhale, come down. Let's take 3 or 4 cow and cat breaths again before we do that on the other side. And for the sake of the way I'm set up here, I'm turning myself around. You don't have to do that. I'm going to run out of room if you don't. All these decorative props we've got set up between me and the wall. Going to your right now, inhaling, twist through your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, reach your right arm, out and up, look up, with your hand. Exhale, reach down, reach across. 2 more times. Inhale, and exhale. Really take your time and let that right shoulder come down, let your head come down, and choose your adventure. Maybe you reach back and press into your left foot, or reach back in the air, or bring your left foot over near your right hand. Maybe you keep your left hand grounded, or you explore opening your shoulder with some rotating, or with the half bind. Take your time coming out. If you've moved your left hand, plant it again. Nice grounding. If you've moved your left knee, plant it again. More grounding. Inhale, open up, reach up, look up. Exhale, bring that hand down. Equal grounding. Cow and cat breath, 3 or 4 of them. So sometimes grounding is symmetrical and even, sometimes it's more twisty. But we can always find some grounding. Bring your big toes to touch, widen your knees if you like, sit back, return to child's pose, where we started.
Or varied if you want to do a different sort of child's pose, some kind of child's pose, as you like. Scan your body, turn inward. The way we vary a pose can vary the amount of grounding. I could keep reaching my hands forward, getting more active opening in my arms and shoulders, but by letting my arms go slack and letting the whole forearms rest on the ground, I've got more grounding contact, and that feels nice right now. What feels different from the first child's pose? Notice whatever there is to notice. Maybe you can't tell what might have changed. That's just something else to notice. There's no wrong answer. Honor your experience. Inhaling, bring yourself forward, back to table, knees come in, parallel again. Throw your toes under, tuck your hands in towards your knees, feet come up, standing on your knees like this, and sit back towards your heels. Now you can go as low as you want. I'm sitting on my heels because this is what my feet enjoy. This creates a lot of sensation in your feet. So depending on how much you've done this, you might sit up higher. You get to decide how much sensation you get in your feet. My feet like this much stretching, but that was not true when I first did this. You might even put a block or a pillow between your butt and your heels if you want like that, or put a block on the floor between the floor and your butt. So you get to regulate the sensation in your feet. While we stretch our feet, we'll stretch our hands like this. Reach your right hand in front of you with your palm up. We'll do one breath for each finger. Take hold of your pinky. Inhale, gently draw it out. Exhale, gently draw it down to open your wrist, your hand, and your forearm. And just go to the next finger. Inhale, exhale. Now you can estimate about how long you're going to be stretching your feet because you know how many fingers you have. If you get ahead of me, that's okay. Maybe your breaths are shorter. After you do the thumb, you probably could guess this. I'm going to do the other hand. One breath per finger here too. The best part of the sequence is the counter pose, the counter movement for the feet. After you've done the second thumb, tip onto your hands again. Untuck your toes, rest the top of your feet on the ground, and then bang them on the ground. And you can go as slow or as fast or as hard or as soft as you want. Out of everything I've ever learned in the sauna practice, that counter pose is my very favorite thing. Step your right foot up between your hands. You might have blocks under your hands to help that transition. Brings the ground closer to your hands. It gives you more room to move that leg.
Bring your hands to your knees and lift yourself up. Come into a low lunge. Find stability in your grounded base. When you're stable, exhale, sink forward in your hips. Inhale, glide back. This movement can be as big or small as you want. See how much your hips want here. So your quads, I'm really feeling that in these quadriceps right here. Probably still some after effects of cycling for 38 miles on Sunday, climbing a week ago or two. If you want, you can add in an arm movement. You can raise one arm or both. As you exhale and sink forward, lower your arms. As you inhale and glide back, raise your arms. You can keep one hand on your knee for stability, or both hands if you like. So as your body shifts around and balances and your core is engaging, the grounding contact shifts. But the ground stays constant. From the top of the movement, let's twist. Reach your right hand forward and reach your left hand back, twist the left. Come back to center, maybe hands to heart for stability, and twist to the right. Left hand forward, right hand back. Left hand can always come to the leg to stabilize or catch yourself if you start to tip over. Back to center, hands to heart. Bring your hands down on either side of that right foot and switch legs. Step the right knee back to the ground and step your left foot forward. Doesn't matter how many steps it takes. Doesn't matter if you have to use your hand to help your leg get up there. Bring your hands to your knee. Lift yourself up. Find steadiness. When you're steady, start to rock. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come back. Add in the arm movements if and when you like, as you like. Maybe it's one arm, maybe it's both. And twist to the right. Come back through center and twist to the left. And come back through center and bring your hands down. And step your right foot up to meet your left foot. Hang out and forward fold. Sway back and forth. Bend and straighten your legs. Maybe your hands are resting on blocks. Maybe they're hanging in the air or dragging on the ground like finger painting. Feel the heaviness of your head. Let your neck lengthen as the head droops down towards the floor. Nice and slowly, nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Inhale, lift halfway, press your hands to your legs, and push. Feel the crown of your head moving forward away from your tailbone. Feel the grounding in your feet shift as the spine telescopes forward. Exhale, relax down. Inhale, roll up to standing, hands up overhead, palms together. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart.
Let your hands hang at your sides. Close your eyes if you like. Feel into the grounding contact of your feet. Take in the movement that comes with each breath, the gentle swaying of your body, the way your core and your legs and your feet respond to the movement of the breath, the wisdom of your body holding you up without minute instructions. Your body knows what to do. It knows how to stand. It knows how to stabilize. It knows how to ground. Your body likes to ground. Your body wants to. If your eyes are closed, let them gently open. Raise your right shoulder towards your ear. Shift it back. Let it come down. Then your left shoulder up and back and down. Inhaling, reach out to the side. Exhaling, reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself. Or if you like, you might come to eagle arms, intertwine your arms, maybe press your palms together or the backs of your hands together. If you're in eagle, move your elbows and your hands forward and up. Inhale, open up. As you exhale, cross your arms the opposite way, reach for your shoulder blades. Or if you like, take eagle arms. Breathe into the big space between your shoulder blades. Inhale, open up. Exhale, let your arms come down. Inhale your arms out and up. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms up. Look up at your hands and lift up your heart. Feel into your feet. Feel your grounding. See how much of your feet you can keep pressing to the floor. Can you equalize the grounding? Do you feel more grounded in the heels and in the balls of the feet, or can you split the difference? Inhale to bring yourself upright. Exhale, bend to the left. Feel think through both arms. Keep the right heel anchored. Sometimes the right foot will want to lift as we bend to the left. Inhale up through center. Stay anchored on the left foot as you bend to the right. Inhale up to center. Exhale, let your arms come down. And grab a sip of my water. And we're going to play with tree pose, shifting grounding, exploring some asymmetrical grounding. Maybe standing on one foot, but using one less than the other anyway. You're welcome to step over by the wall or by a nearby piece of furniture to help steady yourself. To start, bring your hands up to your heart. Set your eyes on something at eye level that won't move. And shift the weight from one leg to the other with your feet planted. So let your feet stay grounded. So each leg takes turns. As you go to one side, the other foot does much less, but it's still in contact. When you're ready, bring the weight into your left leg. Let that knee stay soft and bounce it. Turn your right toes out to the side so your feet become maybe perpendicular or headed towards perpendicular. You can look down at your foot and check. Draw your heel in towards your left ankle. And then bring your heel onto your left ankle. So first there's this kickstand foot with the ball of the foot on the ground, heel on the ankle. You can check in with the knee by looking, or keep your eyes straight ahead and let your hand check in with the knee. We want the knee to go out to the side. We're opening the gate of the hip. So maybe your tree pose is here with both feet on the ground. Maybe you try putting the sole of your foot on your calf, knees still going out to the side, still breathing, tree's knee there. Maybe over time,
With practice, you can get your foot onto your thigh. Don't obsess about it. Press your knee. Pressing your knee sideways like that is not good for your knee. Some days my foot will stay on my thigh, some days it won't. It took me 2 years to get my foot to stay on my thigh at all. And there's nothing wrong with being on your calf or being in the kickstand foot. Your hands can keep pressing together, drawing energy to the midline. This can be nicely stabilizing. Or you can let the branches of the tree go anywhere. And maybe your tree is pretty still, or maybe there's breeze in your branches. Maybe you want to explore different postures, different arm and hand shapes. I like to play around in tree and see what the back wants. As a balance, and ground. Inhale, we feel rising. And anytime you can put your foot down and pick it up. Sometimes that's a choice, a decision. Sometimes it just happens. Bring your hands back to your heart if they're elsewhere. Pivot your knee forward and let your foot down. Shake the left leg, shake anything you want. Usually the standing leg wants to shake. Sometimes it leads to a little dance. I like to shake everything. Set your eyes on that stationary point or object that will help steady you, help anchor you. And when you're ready, bring the weight into your right leg. Let the knee stay soft. The tongue stays soft. Pivot the left toes out. Start to slide the foot in. And see where your body wants to go this time. Maybe it's not the same as it was on the other side, and that's fine. You might do the same thing with your hands and your arms. You might do something different. I always do this because this is my favorite. I like how my back feels when I do this fine, with my arms folded behind my back. Lots of different things you might do. If your hands are elsewhere, bring them back to your heart. Bring your knee forward, let your foot down, shake things out. Shake what you want, shake as much as you want. Let's come down and have a seat. And there's a big change in grounding. The whole lower half of the body. Extend your legs forward, flex your feet back towards you. All kinds of grounding. Heels, calves, butt, maybe thighs, maybe backs to the knees, depending on what's going on in your body. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. If your knees want to bend here, just let them bend. As you inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward. As you exhale, think of lowering down. Your hands can rest anywhere. Maybe they're on your legs, maybe they're on your feet, maybe they're just on the ground. Maybe you do Guru Mudra while you're in your fold. Maybe you repeat your mantra. Feeling for release in your lower back. Inhaling, walk your hands up the front of your legs. Sit up. I'm going to grab a block here. You might use a block here, maybe not. Let your arms help your legs open out to whatever degree is okay for you. And we're going to come to a fold from here. So two different ways you might do this. You might walk your hands down your legs as far as you can, whatever that might be, and fold like this. But maybe you prefer to grab the floor and walk forward. Or as I like to do when I'm not going down my legs, I like to use a block here. To get more length in the spine and get more release in my lower back if I use a block to fold in this shape. Everybody's different. Some people are much more mobile in the hips and they come way down. I know people who touch their head to the floor. You can see my head's nowhere near the floor. Some people, the legs are further apart. Hands wrap all the way under their feet. Everybody's different. This is far further than I used to go, and yet so much less than some folks do. It doesn't matter how my practice compares to someone else's. It's only more informative to see how my practice compares to my former practice. You know, slowly walk your hands back and sit up. Set my block aside here. Use your arms, nudge your legs towards each other. Bring the soles of your feet together a good distance away from the pelvis. So there's a big space here between the heels and the pelvis. If you can, slide your hands under your ankles like that and grab the floor. If that doesn't work for you, reach your hands over your ankles and grab the floor. Either is fine. You're going to walk your hands forward. Let your head drop. Breathe into your lower back. So this is some neat ground in the outsides of the feet, palms and forearms in the seat. And if it's not forearms, it's palms but not forearms, that's fine too. Whatever ground that you've got, tune into it. Feel every inch of contact with the ground. Slowly walk your hands back and sit yourself up. One more fold, feet together, slide your heels in as close as you can now. Interlace your fingers, grab your toes. Wriggle on your seat. Bring the bones in your seat closer to the ground. Tilting your pelvis forward. Feel that? How that grounding contact changed. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, spine long at first. See how far down the long spine will go. Maybe your elbows press the insides of your legs and nudge your hips open some more. When the long spine has stopped lowering, let your head drop. Breathe into your hips. Inhale, slowly sit up. Let your arms help your legs. Bring your hands here. Nudge your knees towards each other. Rest your feet on the floor. Rest your hands on the floor. Wiggle your feet further apart. If you're on a mat, you might bring them to the edges of the mat. Basically want your feet maybe a little wider than shoulder width apart. And let your knees go back and forth to whatever degree they want to. It's okay if they don't touch down like that. You're exploring space you've opened in your hips. We practiced today. Just seeing how much space that is. So maybe it's this much space, maybe it's less. We're going to play with bridge pose a bit here, a supported bridge. So if you have blocks, you might set a block like that to set your feet that far apart. You don't have to keep it there. Depending on how many blocks you have, you might. Scoot the butt towards your heels, come onto your forearms, and onto your back. So you end up lying down like this with your heels as close to your butt as they'll go. And you could put a block between your knees on that same middle position. So what we're doing with that spacing is lining the heels and knees up with the hips, because the width of the block, middle position of the block, is about the same distance there are between your hip sockets. Press into the soles of your feet and inhale to lift your hips up for bridge. You can take some breaths at the top here, as many as you might like. And we're going to make this a supported bridge. You could bring a block or pillow or bolster or your stacked hands under your sacrum. And when you're ready, lower down onto that support. I've seen folks practicing at home that don't have yoga blocks, but they have a foam roller. You can put a foam roller under your sacrum there. It's a nice height to be at. And we'll just let your support do the work here for a minute. Think of breathing there. Think of sending your breath through your sacrum. So you have grounding contact with the floor, your head, your shoulder blades, your arms, your hands, your feet. But then you have grounding contact that's not the ground. It's this prop. And somehow imagining breathing through that support helps your body to accept the support and to relax against it. Your brain knows this block's not going anywhere, but your body just trusts it. Your body wants the ground. Nothing is more grounding than the ground. It's what the body is wired to feel. You can use your mind to feel grounded in whatever posture. The other day I was on top of a fairly tall ladder getting stray tennis balls off the roof of my patio. We play fetch in the backyard and sometimes throws go wild. And standing on top of the ladder by focusing on my contact on the ladder, my feet on the ladder, I stayed grounded even though I was, I don't know, 7 or 8 feet off the ground. When you're ready to come out of your supported bridge, press into the soles of your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up. Remove the props from beneath you. Exhale, slowly come down. And after you land, just pause and let your sacrum. Maybe in this pause, maybe in a few breaths here, you feel some additional release in your lower back. Out of the way, getting ready to play with the strap. Draw your knees towards your chest, hug your knees, rock and roll on your back for a few breaths, massage your back against the ground. Play with my placement on the rug and the placement of my microphone before I come into this sequence. Grab the strap, open it up and run it under your feet. Take one end of your strap in each hand. Stay grounded. Sacrum, shoulder blades, back of the head. Keep it all on the ground and reach your feet up. Long legs, long strap, long arms. Doesn't matter what the angles are. Point your toes up at the ceiling. Point your toes back towards your face. Let your feet relax. Slide your feet away from each other. Slide your feet towards each other. Draw on your strap. Take your left foot out of your strap. Press the back of your left leg to the floor. Take the strap with your left hand. Reach your right arm to the side. Staying grounded in your shoulder blades. Now your sacrum is going to lift away from the floor. Keep your head and shoulder blades grounded. Draw your leg over to the left and turn your head to the right. Slowly come back up to center. Ignore this 180 I'm going to do. This is for the sake of my space in my camera. Press your left hand down on the front of your left hip, holding the strap with your right hand. Let your limbs fall to the right. Keep the left cheek rounded as the right hip opens out. Very, very gently to come out of this one. Take your time to bring those limbs back to center. Lift your left leg. Step your left foot back inside the strap. Take your right foot up. Press your right foot down. Reach your left arm to the side. Draw your leg over to the right and turn your head to the left. Remember how to keep your shoulder blades grounded. And slowly back to center. Take the strap with your left hand. Press your right hand down in the front of your right hip. And let your limbs fall to the left. Nice and easy. Come back to center. Raise your right leg. Draw your knees in. Get rid of your strap. Reach your feet towards the ceiling. Reach your hands up. Grab your legs or feet, however you like. Play with bending and straightening your arms and legs. Happy baby pose. Whatever movement you want. And you can play with inverting for as long as you like. Whenever you feel complete, you can make your way to your final resting pose to absorb the benefits of your practice. So that might be the traditional corpse pose with your legs extended out, your feet splayed apart, your hands resting on the ground out past your hips. If this isn't comfortable, please come to a position that is comfortable for you. You can conclude practice in whatever position you can be comfortably still in for some minutes of quiet breathing and integration, allowing the time for your breathing to again get slower and deeper as it did when we began. Maybe you're focusing on your breathing. Maybe you're remembering an intention you set for yourself to further reflect upon it. How does it serve you in practice? How might you carry it into the remainder of your day? Maybe you choose to unfocus and simply lie there breathing, continuing to relax a bit more to accept the support of the ground on each exhale. Begin to find some even, deeper breath. Invite your body to slowly move around bit by bit, taking your time, letting your movements gradually get bigger and bigger. Moving mindfully, knowing there is no rush. Whenever you're ready, you can gently sit yourself up. Find a nicely grounded seat or kneeling position if you prefer. Find the length of your spine again. Bring your hands to your heart if you like, hands together or hands stacked. Thank you for sharing this practice today. The light within me sees and honors that same light in each of you. Namaste. Again, I'm Leo Bray coming to you from Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center in Palm Springs. You can find us online at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook. Stop by the tip jar, check out our schedule. We have classes every day. And questions and feedback are always welcome, whether they're in person, in real time on Zoom, or later on YouTube. Have a wonderful day.